Hello, good morning and welcome. Today the training is FTP. So we will speak about FTP. We will bring the difference between passive and active FTP. Our FTP is running on the Red Hat version 6. So it's called VSFTP. The daemon that run the FTP is VSFTPD. So before going to more detail, before connecting to our server, I just want to bring out first the diagram and I will explain you something. So our diagram is here. Let me see. It's around here. Okay. Let's explain. This will be our FTP client. The 192.168.1.15, and this will be our FTP server 192.168.1.100. So they are connected to a Cisco 3550 switch. We also have a client connected here. This is a window client, and this is a Linux box. This one is our Linux server. Okay. And the thing that I can tell you also is that we are connected now at the moment to our server. We will do SSH to the client to test the configuration. But all the configuration will be done on the server. The firewall, everything will be done on the server. I'll bring you as well the concept of firewall within the FTP environment. I will explain you something. We know that as a general rule, any corporate firewall server which exists in order to protect an internal network from outside world recognize input from the outside only in response to user requests that were sent out requesting the input. The use of passive FTP ensured all data flow initiation come from inside the network rather than from the outside. So we know that as well. So that's why when we are in active mode, we come across some problem. So we need to make sure that when you are in active mode, you set up your firewall properly to allow all this to be done. Okay. And now let's go. We'll connect to the server. Okay. Let me bring up the server. Let me clear this. Okay. If config, just to confirm the IP address of the server. As I show you in the diagram, this is the IP address of the server. Now, I have to check if the packet that allow the FTP to run on the server exists. Is the packet there or not? And this packet called VSFTP. Okay, service VSFTPD. Sorry, it is to run the service. RPM minus Q for query. VSFTPD. Nothing. So that means we need to install the packet to configure our FTP. So I will use yum to use my repository. Yum install VSFTPD to install the package. Just go yes. Now that the packet installed, let me check again. RPM, just to show you again. If you do the query now we have the package. Okay. So let me check the configuration. Vim etc. Here is the path where you will find the FTP config. It's a VSFTPD. Is vsftpd.conf. So if you see here, you already have anonymous enabled, because if you want to disable that, you can just mark this. So it's unchecked. It means that anyone can log to this server as anonymous if the firewall allow it. So And remember, when you log as anonymous, you just need to use any password that look like an email. It could be abcd@abc.com. It could be 123@123.com. It could be your name, your surname at whatever.com. Okay. Now, again, I will go deeply later on the next training about this file. Okay, let's get out of here. Okay. Now let's check our firewall service. I'll use IP table minus capital L to list. So we see there is no configuration, nothing that will accept the request from our FTP client. Okay. I will log to my client. I will configure the firewall first to accept requests coming from to accept any request going to the port 21. The command is IP table minus I, capital I for insert, input, minus P for protocol, TCP. We know FTP use TCP on port 21. For that, I will give you some little bit of theory about FTP. So because it's also important to know a little bit of theory before continuing. So we know that FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. It's a standard mechanism provided by TCP/IP for copying file from one host to another. That's the definition of FTP. So, and we know data file are sent through data connection. FTP means one of three things. In FTP, you have a file is to be copied from the server to the client. We call that retrieving a file. It's RETR command. A file to be copied from the server to the client. Storing a file is a store command. And you have a list of a directory or file name is to be sent from the server to the client. This is a list command. You will see all this in the detail. Okay. So I'm going to continue with the firewall config minus P protocol minus D destination port 21, and then jump to accept. What we are telling to our firewall is that accept any traffic, any FTP traffic that will go to this port. So that's what we are saying to our firewall. Okay. Okay. Now, bear in mind, like I was saying to you, there is two types of FTP mode. We have an active mode and passive mode. In active mode, the client dynamically pick up a port and send the port and an IP to the server. The server then bind the connection port to port 20. That is in active mode. It will bind it to port 20. In a passive mode, the server dynamically pick up a port and send the port and the IP to the client. The client then bind it to the connection, bind the connection to the port. So when we will see on a Wireshark, when we will see the process, you will see that at the end, in the active mode, you have the different who acknowledge in active mode and who acknowledge in passive mode. Okay. I was just adding some little bit of theory. Now we accept our firewall. What are we going to do? We are going now to connect to the client. Click this to our client. So I will open a new tab. SSH 192.168.10 .1.15. That is the IP address of our client, if you remember. If I go back to the diagram again, if you want. This is the IP address of our client. 15. Okay. Password. Okay. Now, from this side, I don't know I don't have to text the connectivity, since I SSH to it, it means that there's connectivity between the two devices. So before opening the FTP session, what I will do, I will make sure the Wireshark is running, and then I will start to capture interface, start. Okay, let me go back here. Now FTP -D, because we are using now our client as a FTP client to access to the server. 192.168.1.100. Connection refuse. Why? Isn't it 100? If config. Yeah. Okay. Why the connection refuse? So let's check. Is the service running? Is the FTP service running or not? Service ESFTPD statute. It stopped it. So we have to start the service. And don't forget, because if you reboot your server, the service will go down again. So you need to make it persistent on your Linux box. So to make it persistent after reboot is check config VSF SFTP PD on. That's it. Now anytime your server will reboot, the service will be there. We go back to the client again, connections refused. If you attend with the same command again, -D for debug. Now the connection is accepted. So let's connect as anonymous user. Anonymous. The password, like I said to you, you can use any password. It just have to be like an email address. In my case, I take abcd@abcd.com. Sorry, I type it out. Instead of abcd@abc.com, I type abcd@abcn, I think, .com. Okay, list, and now we access, we list this, we connect it to the server, to the FTP server. I will just do by to get out of the server and go back to the capture and stop our capture, and then we come back to it to analyze later. Okay, look at the process here. We SSH to the server. We FTP to the server. We got the connection. The server responds with 220. We'll see all this in more detail in Wireshark. It's asking 530. Please log in with user pass. We give a user anonymous. We give the password. The password seems to be hiding here, but in fact it's not hiding because FTP send the traffic, send the password in clear text. So if anyone run any traffic analyzer, it will just grab your password. So that's why FTP doesn't allow you to access to a FTP server as a root user. I show you here. Let's go back here. I'll show you. If I go to cat etc vsftp, sorry, vsftpd FTP user, look, user in this file are not allowed to access to the FTP server, including the root. Imagine that a root user trying to access to the FTP server, and then a hacker will run a sniffer. It will get the IP, the password. When you have the password, he can compromise your server. So that's why FTP user is not allowed to access to the root is not allowed to access to the FTP server. Okay, go back to the client. I see again at the end, when you see here the 230 login successful, and then it say we are in passive mode. This is an important part. This I will show you. What's that mean? The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 4 octet is the IP address of the server that responds. These, if you take these, you multiply by 256 plus 138, it will give you the port number. So we can say that this is our port number. We do it data by doing the calculation. Okay, now let's go back to the Wireshark. We try to analyze. So what happened, we have to take, let's say we take the FTP session start, the TCP, look at the we have to look at the TCP three-way handshake. See here, sorry. Okay, this one is the first stage, is before. You can see here there was a, if I go here, if I go a little bit of data, I want to show you something a little bit in my TCP flag. You see this? Acknowledge set to 1, but you have a reset. This is when the server refused the connection. My server previously refused the connection, you remember, because the service anyway was not running. So we have to ignore this. We are going to the next one. Okay? This is not the part that interests us. Okay, next. We came here now. Here where all start. Okay? Here our client send a request to the server. It say it give this port number to the FTP server. If I go here, you will see the SYN is set to 1 and it is normal. It's the only thing, it's only flag that is set to 1 because it's the first initiation connection. This thing you will very understand it when you are doing the troubleshooting. You will see on a firewall, when you see when people try to hack you, when they send you some embryonic connection, only sending the SYN multiple SYN just to try to hack you. Okay, so the server will respond with his SYN and ACK. And that is we are in the process of three-way handshake. His SYN is set to 1 and his ACK set to 1. Here ACK set to 1 and he send his SYN also to 1. You go back again, the server, the client will acknowledge to complete the three-way handshake. Here is the acknowledgement. We can see the three-way handshake is done. So now we have to go to the process of the FTP. To make it easy, I will just filter here, apply. So then I will focus only on FTP. So what we have here, we have here the response of the server that you can see here. You can see the first response of the server here when the client make his first request is here. So the server gives the response 220. If you go to detail, if you go here down, or take FTP code service ready for new user. So it's telling you that the service is ready for you to use. If you go back to our config again, we remember the client part we see here. Connected to, you have 220. So Wireshark give you more data about that. It tell you that the service is ready to be used. It give you the version of the argument here. So if you go back here again, the client say to the client, make understand the server that is okay. We go to the next package, and the server asks the user to log in, and you can see again here, if you want, again on the data, you say to you, please log with user and password. The client will respond, he give his username anonymous, and the next the server will say, okay, I got the password, now I need to have, I get the user, I need to have the password. You remember I said to you our password is in clear text that we can see here, abcd@abdnc.com. Okay, and the server will respond, yeah, login successfully, and you go to the next packet, and they show you here which type of mode we are in, the passive mode. Okay, so and then again here, if you come here, it tells you that enter in passive mode. It gives you the IP address of the server. This bit is important. I will save this. I will come back to it again to explain you. Again, the port number that we have, the port number, don't forget the port that has been used in this process by the client is defined here, or by the server is defined here. This port is the IP address of the server. This is the port number. If you take 144 multiply by 256 plus 138, it give you the port. Let's see if we can open our calculator. So sorry, I take 144 multiply by 256 plus 138. Sorry. What is this calculation is giving? Okay. Just want to check something. I never use this one. Supply this. I just want to check something. Okay, I see the comma. Okay, see 144 multiply by 256 plus 138. So that is our port number. We will check it later. If you go again here, next package, and when you list the directory, you give you the answer next package, and that is the message of the goodbye is 221. Okay, if I remove this one again, I apply this on the TCP just to show you. When you filter based on this, you remember it is the port number that we just see on our when I open the calculator to check to show you. The port number was 37,002. So that's the port number. The way to calculate is the way I show you again. You take you ignore the four first bit. These are the IP address, and the last one you take it. You take the fifth one, you multiply by 256 plus the last one. It gives you the port number. Okay. Now let's go back to the client. So I want to show you something that I did previously. Is out of this training on the server. See this user, this group. So there is a group here called FTP user. We were talking about anonymous. Now I want to talk about the people who you can allow, you can give access to your FTP server. They can download it with their own password. You make a directory for them. They will have access to specific directory. They can download any file you put there. For example, you can put some video training, or I don't know, if a software for a field engineer of the company who will go on site to make sure everything's ready for him. He have a user and access. He can access to it and download, and then maybe upgrade his device, whatever is it, is firewall or router or whatever is it. So if I do again cat etc, sorry, password, and I pipe it, I mean grep 503. You see here, those are the user I create: Louis, Fatima, Umar, Usman, and admin. Those are the people who can access to my FTP server and download. Let's go back to the client again. I will use in this time now Fatima, and we will go now at the same time test our our active mode, because we just finished with passive mode. Okay, so I do FTP -D for the book 192.168.1.100. A request for a user, but something a request for the user. The user now is, I chose Fatima, one of my user. The password, I'll put the password, and because I want to go to be as a connect as a active mode now. But you type passive, don't confuse, you have to type passive to go to active mode. Okay, now it's set to passive mode off. Look what happened. ls here come the directory listen, but we don't see anything. We can't continue, we can't go nowhere. Why that happened? Let me go back here and explain. It's what I was saying to you. I said to you earlier at the beginning of this training that in fact, firewall accept all traffic. That's the way it's designed. That's why it's implemented. It's for security. It assumes that the request come from inside and then it come back. But in that case, it consider the request coming from outside, from the client point of view. That's why it drop it. So it means you have to accept on that client side any request coming from port 20. So if we go to our firewall, to our client, if you go to our client, we block, we stop, because the firewall is running. If we stop the firewall, then you will see this. We will be successfully connected. Z. I'm still on the client service IP table. Stop. It's not running. You can see here. Flushing firewall rule. So again, let's try passive mode again. Fatima, the password, passive to become active. Passive mode, you can see a highlight, passive mode off. Okay, now ls, look, here we go. We are inside our directory. Here we can see all what we have. For example, I go get hard txt. Look, transfer completed. So we have done some transfer even. Okay, so that is the way you can see. So in active mode, make sure that you have your setting on your firewall that would allow the FTP session to be complete, because other way it will not work. So that is the end of this demonstration about passive and active mode. So just to wrap up again, I show you that here from the standpoint of view of the firewall, the first request coming from the client, it will initiate a request based on the port higher than 1023, and then the firewall will reply. This is in active mode with telling the client that please use this port 20, and then the client will go back again and will reply to the firewall. That's the summum of the active mode. Okay, I would like to thank you to have attending to this training, and I will see you in the next training on regarding SAN technology. Okay, bye, have a nice day.